Oh my god, this is an awesome interpretation, you guys. Varied interpretation of histories. Imagine, Copernicus, Galileo turned into priests instead. So, we know it's a grim, dark world, and there's such a thing as human starch that serve as rations for some of the soldiers here. It's dark, alright? It's one sucky world. There was this joke back then that, people want to go to the Hogwarts universe or the Harry Potter universe. People want to go to the Narnia universe, the LOTR universe. But when it comes to the Warhammer universe or the Hunger Games universe, no thanks. I'm good. Because there are worse things than being a guard.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium exists the Empire of Man, a backwards carcass of an empire comprised of many devoted forces, gigantic robot knights, religious machine cultists, and incredibly heavily armored women, most likely with sweltering abs. And one must know what those abs taste like.
There we go. Alright.
The age of knowledge and enlightenment has ended. The age of darkness has begun.
Huh. So it's like we're going back to the Dark Ages. Because that's what happened, right? In world history, the reason it was called the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages is for the simple reason, the reason why it's called that is because the world depended, or civilization depended, on Rome. After the fall of Rome, not just in Italy, not just central Rome, but Constantinople, it's almost all Roman knowledge was wiped out. All of those former colonies went back into darkness. And did something fell? Since we've gone back to the Age of Darkness, I wonder what fell before it.
Roughly 60 million years ago, there existed aliens. And these aliens lived short, painful lives. They belonged to radiation-stricken worlds and often died of various cancers before the age of 30. These aliens, the Necron tier, looked up to the stars and found extreme beings of real power, beings with the ability to create life, the Old Ones of the galaxy. They asked these Old Ones for help. Please cure us of our ailments, to which the Old Ones said, piss off. So the Necron tier gathered together and did the sensible thing. They declared war upon these old beings and were promptly beaten into the dirt back to their short, painful lives. In the world of Warhammer, there is a hell. This hell is not like you and I know it. It's more of an afterlife, a place where dead souls end up. This place has many names: the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium, and the Ether, but mostly we just call it the Warp. While you and I know of hell as a place of horrors and punishment, the Warp isn't really that, not in the beginning. It's energy, but the kind of energy formed from thought and soul, psychic energy, where the dead souls of people end up in a place that is impossible to understand. No laws of reality exist. Like, time is merely...
Is that where their power comes from? Because in almost every lore where magic or magic is involved, I remember the lore of wait, what was the name of that game? Wait. Let me check the name of that game, or else I won't be able to sleep tonight. What was the name of that game? Wait, hold on. I'm still feeling loopy. From the makers of the Mass Effect. What else did they publish? It has something to do with dragons. It was something to do with Dragon Age, right? Wait. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Dragon Age, where magic comes from. They call it the ether. They call it the void. So basically, it's a source of all magic. So I'm guessing there's something similar here. But then again, you guys, this thing dates back from the 80s, and as far as we know, going through these stories, no new story or nothing is ever new under the sun. And these stories are merely a reinterpretation of an older one. So this is where the quote unquote psychic power comes from. Basically an alternate dimension or some sort of an existing and coexisting dimension. Okay.
Really a suggestion, and it is not something that can be braved easily. The warp would be like sailing the ocean in a pirate movie. To jump from your ship would be certain death. To stay in the sea for too long on your boat could drive a man mad. And there are many dangerous things lurking in those depths. Yet the sea
So
is
certain
not
death all
evil.
around.
It simply is. Mostly. There are more malevolent beings in those waters, areas that you do not sail towards. This would be known as the realm of chaos. The realm of chaos exists in the warp as a special area led by 3 chaos gods. Khorne, the god of combat, murder, and slaughter, with a pile of skulls taken in his name. Tzeentch, god of change, mystery, and deceit,
Ooh.
a confusing paradox of lies, schemes, and sorceries. And Nurgle, god of rot, pestilence, and Genshin impact. All things rot in the end. And Grandfather Nurgle is waiting for you with open arms. These gods ruled their respective realm in the warp, sending their many followers against each other in the great game to be the most powerful of all the gods. So the warp exists. Hell is real, parallel to our galaxy, with the realm of chaos and its gods fighting for control. But there are also gods of real space, gods of the normal world too. They're called Catan, and
Alright, so we have an alternate dimension where under the warp where chaos exists, and then of course we have her in our dimension. I guess that's why they've been talking about it for quite some time or for so long.
they eat stars.
You think
Oh crap.
God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
These star gods saw
Holy
the
crap.
plight of our poor Necron tier and how the old ones cast them aside and said, you know what? You guys want immortality? Oh, we will make it happen. We are the gods of the tangible, of real space. We can give you a cure. So then they ate all their souls
What?
and turned them into robotic automaton, feasting on their souls and leaving a hollow shell of an
What?
intelligence left. That is
Holy
technically
shit, there is
immoral.
nothing
With
good
the
about this
power
whole
of an
thing.
entire species' souls, they turned their new robotic slaves on the old ones and hunted them to extinction. The Necron tier, now the soulless, undying Necrons, got their wish at the price of their souls. But we can count the number of kind gods on an amputated hand. With time, the selfish star gods turned on each other, fighting one another for more chances at glory and power. With this, the leader of the Necrons, Zarek, the Silent King, the man who doomed his species when he accepted this deal, waited, planned, bide his time until he seized the perfect moment and turned his legions of undead citizens against the star gods. Gods cannot be killed, but they can be broken. So Zarek broke the star gods into thousands of pieces and locked them away in vaults, taking their free will away as they did to them, and sealed them away as basically Pokemon to be used as weapons in the future.
I mean, that's definitely one way to interpret the whole thing.
Zarek then, with his perfect memory, exiled himself for his
Oh,
sins,
okay.
flying out to the darkness between galaxies to atone for what he had done. This entire situation, the genocide of the Old Ones and the rebellion of Zarek, will go down in history as the War in Heaven. It is the most brutal war the galaxy has ever seen and ever will see. This was a conflict that
Alright. Unending war all around. Yep. If I was asked, if I wanted to see this universe or if I wanted to go to this universe. Definitely not. I mean, holy crap, people. Can we all just chill?
That took an entire galaxy-spanning species and pitted them against gods that ate stars. The Necrons, rather crippled from, you know, the war in heaven, decide to go to sleep in gigantic tomb worlds on various planets until the upstart species of the galaxy died out. And so turns out, when you have a war that lasts tens, hundreds of thousands of years and involves the genociding of multiple species, the old ones of the galaxy, and the consumption of souls from an entire race, the warp gets a little wacky. You know, if you had a kiddie pool and it was nice and calm, Khorne is over there splashing about, so you don't really go in that direction. Nurgle has explosive diarrhea, so you don't really go in that direction either, but you can still kind of get in the pool. The pool's still fine. Turns out, when you add a couple trillion souls to that kiddie pool, it'll make the waves a little more turbulent. And turns out, a lot of them like to pick a side, Nurgle, Tzeentch, or Khorne. So the once calmer warp, the once relaxing kiddie pool, has now been bloated. A million years of war will certainly make Khorne, god of murder and slaughter, more powerful. A million years of war will probably make Tzeentch, god of deception and change, a little more powerful. And good God, a million years of war will make Nurgle, god of decay, oh, just the tiniest bit more powerful. Now, entering that kiddie pool is no longer fun, it's dangerous. The warp is now a problem. Hell is resembling—
Wait, has it ever been peaceful in the first place? Because, holy crap, a million years of war? It's been in trouble for, what, like a million years now?
hell a lot closer to what we imagined it originally. The Sea of Souls and the Realm of Chaos are now intertwined. So who else to brave the galaxy than a species that won't need to deal with that?
What? Who are these people?
The Eldar are space elves. They have a lot of the traits that you probably think of when you think of elves.
Guys, is it just me or the meds talking? But I am a little bit more confused now.
Tall, slender, pointy ears, bit more androgynous looking, no matter what DeviantArt will tell you, and a bit stronger on the emotional side. The old ones, as I mentioned, could create life. And when they were getting, you know, absolutely bodied by the Catan and the Necrons, they made some new races to try to help them. One of them was the Eldar. It didn't save them, but they're here now anyway. Oh, and also the Orcs, but they're busy right now. The Eldar are a particularly psychically powerful race.
What?
So they were really adept at being able to handle the new turbulent warp of chaos and good at killing Necrons, hence why they went to sleep. Being psychically gifted is basically like being a wizard, but you get your wizard powers from hell. This is called being a psyker. And basically, if
this is what I was talking about in Dragon Age Origins. The power, the magical power, also comes from the, what did they call it? The void or the ether or the chaos. But anyways, it also comes from an alternate dimension. That's why they came up with a chantry to basically control it. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, if I remember the Witcher series, where it comes from chaos, but I haven't read any of the books, so I'm not really sure. But it probably goes the same way, that magical powers or psychic powers comes from another dimension. Anyways, let's go.
If you want to do cool wizard shit like lightning from your hands or reading someone's mind, you can do that, but you siphon the energy to do that from the warp. Luckily, the Eldar are very good at handling this without too many negative effects because, you know, summoning power from the Sea of Souls with the new Chaos friends can be a bit of an issue. But Eldar are pretty good at it. And you see, what's really cool and also awful about Warhammer is that most developed species travel long, faster than light distances by going through that warp. They create a tear in reality to unreality and move through it. Faster than light travel? Cringe. We go through hell itself to deliver your packages. For those of you who play Minecraft, you know how the Nether is like a pocket dimension? So moving 10 spaces in the Nether is actually moving something like 1,000 in the real world. That's basically what warp travel is. Just much like in the Nether, there are a lot of things that want to kill you. The Eldar found a way to do so in between realities. Not regular reality, not the warp, something else. A purgatory of sorts, a fabricated psychic realm that allowed them to travel without fearing the negative effects of the warp. The Eldar were the perfect fit for the new galaxy, and they took it with open arms and pointy ears. The empire of the Eldar spread everywhere, and it spread all the way until now, the 21st century. That's right, while you were watching NPC streams on TikTok, the space elves were ruling the galaxy, and they did so for quite a long period of time. The 21st century came and went. Humanity grew and grew, all under the nose of their elf overlords.
Wait, so while the entire thing was going down, humanity has been in existence? Holy crap.
At this time, humans advanced, your classic sci-fi style way. We began to expand, colonize our solar system, terraformed our planets, created new and more powerful machines and starships. The Age of Terra, also known as Earth, but we call it Terra here, was here and existed between the 21st century all the way until the 15th millennia. Not much is known about this time, not much needs to be known. Humanity grew up, sought the stars. It's classic. Then came the years between 15,000 and 25,000, the Age of Technology, or to some, the Dark Age of Technology. This is when humanity reached a new apex of technological understanding. When you think of sci-fi, there's a lot of things you can think of. Star Trek, maybe Star Wars style, you can go cyberpunk dystopian. The Age of Technology was deep sci-fi, like a scientific prowess that fringed on magic. This is also when the first ever psychers began showing up in humanity. Individuals with the genetic mutation to be able to access the warp and then, because of that, travel through it.
Check this out, right? In the story of Dune by Frank Herbert, they talked about the Spacing Guild. Basically, the Spacing Guild is this group of people that is in charge of interstellar travel. And in the first book, they were discussing the main protag Muad'Dib, the mouse. He was asking, people around, where are the members of the Spacing Guild? Because apparently the members of the Spacing Guild, despite the fact that, they were the bus driver, they were the train conductors, none of the passengers, actually, before they reached the planet of Dune, they were going around that, where are the members of the Spacing Guild? Basically, they got loaded up onto their ships and they didn't even encounter any of their members in the first book. And some of the characters speculated that the reason that why they don't show themselves to regular humans or their passengers, it's because they have mutated. I'm not sure if physically or psychic. If it's a psychic thing, but they discussed that they may have mutated because of their time, their prolonged exposure to space, and their heavy use of spice. So I'm guessing with everything that's going on, a mutation's bound to happen, just like in this one.
Humanity was no longer constricted to their early ways of travel. With warp travel, they could go anywhere in the galaxy. They equipped ships with gigantic AI machines, with everything you would ever need to know about mankind, and sent them out on colony ships to expand their influence across the galaxy. This was truly the golden age of humanity. And with every golden age, there is a fall.
Of course, they had to use Berserk as an example. Another grim, dark world.
The new human upstarts of the galaxy were reaching new levels of technology and prowess. The Eldar were engaging in
Debauchery!
What happens when a species has everything? You can produce unlimited food out of nothing. Your need for farmers and workers, gone. You have dominated the stars and have created a fast travel system that doesn't rely on the dangers of the warp. You have nothing else to do. You have no struggles, no problems, and feel as if there is nowhere else to go. Well, you begin to experiment. The Eldar started harmless
Experiment
enough.
with what?
You take a serious interest in your species' culture, your arts, paintings, poems, plays. These are Eldar, elves, remember? Their emotions are heightened, more powerful than us humans. So your plays get louder. They start to push on the limits of your hearing ability. Your music becomes different, more deranged. It pushes the boundaries of what is art. The visual spectacle of art becomes more bizarre, more delusional, more eccentric. And
Is that how NFTs and the new rap was developed? Are we in the golden age?
let's not forget a very important sense. Touch. Pornography is one thing. Brothels is another. What if they all mixed? What if your brothels were part of your art and music? And what if those became more deranged? The boundaries of debauchery.
I remember the first Alien franchise. No, not the first Alien franchise. The new one. We saw it on IMAX and there was a sex scene. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my god, we're gonna see porn on 3D, but they skipped it.
Were not just met, but shattered. Next thing you know, murder is commonplace and often mixed with the art, music, and sex. Pain is a common byproduct of entertainment. Whatever sensation you can have.
Alright. So they definitely went full circle in terms of entertainment. Is that how BDSM was developed? Where vanilla sex isn't enough? So they had to, put in leather and whips?
Must be increased, must be enhanced, must be taken to the limits. The Eldar Empire slipped into a nightmarish realm of debauchery and excess, with the worst of it taking place in a city in the webway, a black market for these kinds of—
That's not an accident. Comorag. Really? Sodom and Gomorrah. So, a little bit on the nose and then your face then, that they named it Comorag.
heinous acts known as Kamara. Some Eldar saw the writing on the wall, saw what was happening to their species and how far they had slipped. So they boarded continent-sized starships called craft worlds and left their empire, seeking a more enlightened, calmer existence among their peers. Some, those in Kamara, pushed it to—
Wait, those are the story of the Puritans that went into the New World, that went to America. But were they being actively persecuted? But only in reverse, right? The Puritans escaped religious persecution, so that's why they went into the New World. But I guess, the old elders, but this time it's in reverse. That this time it's, well, no. It's the old ones that are trying to escape debauchery
to even greater heights, relishing the pain and torment they inflicted on those around them. All during this, the warp, the yin to the yang of the world, was fed by these emotions, by the psychic power of the Eldar, by the souls taken in these depraved acts on a galactic scale. And just like that, Eldar ended. Slaanesh, the fourth chaos god, was burst into existence and consumed the souls of 90% of the Eldar population. Those that fled were spared the worst of it, and those in the webway and Kamara were able to stave off the pull of Slaanesh so long as they continued to commit horrid acts of torture and violence. But for the majority of the Eldar, their empire died with Slaanesh's birth. The new fourth chaos god, she who thirsts, the god of
Thirst for
unspeakable
what?
excess of pleasure, pain, hedonism, and perfection, had been born. With the fall of the Eldar Empire came the ruin of humanity. Slaanesh's birth sent storms in the warp across the galaxy, making travel between star systems impossible. Coupled with a huge classic AI rebellion, as a staple in these sci-fi settings, humanity began.
Wait. Here's the thing, right? I was watching some playthroughs of the Space Marine 2, and he was talking to a machine spirit, right? Is the machine spirit an AI? Is that what machine spirits are? Are they AI or is it AI? Is it a singular AI or is it composed of, every tank, every ship has its own personalized AI? Is that how it works? Can someone please put it down in the comments or type it in? Thank you.
To suffer the Age of Strife. Now, planets that relied on intergalactic travel were completely cut off. Long-range messages, normally sent through the warp, were snuffed out. If you were a planet that was great at mining stuff, but couldn't get food, well, you know that movie about the rugby players in the mountains?
Yeah, we all know.
Because of these insane warp storms and fluctuations, psychers began to appear among the human population a bit more often. Now, this initially had them hunted down as witches, because that's pretty common in this setting, but some deemed it right to protect them. Unfortunately for those people, psychers, because they open a gateway to the warp, don't really know how to use their powers well, and they kind of.
So just like in Dragon Age, they kind of made up a chantry in order to control their magic users, or in this case, their psychers. Is that how it happens? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm drawing a parallel with Dragon Age Origins because I'm more familiar with their lore. And here's the thing, right? That's the reason why we're doing this right now are for beginners like me, or for those new to the lore, like me. We're not here to make a perfect summation of the entire thing, of the origins and lore. We're here to basically study it back to basics, back to square one. And to be honest, this is giving me more questions than answers right now.
Attract demons, who then force their way through the psyker as a conduit of sorts and begin to slaughter the population of your planet. The Age of Strife was a catastrophic period of time for humanity and set back their progress tenfold over the not one, not two, but 5,000 year period. During this time, the Age of Humanity.
So, yeah, just like here's the thing, right? The fall of Rome. After the fall of Rome, everything was sent back. Water purification, the aqueducts, Roman concrete or cement. Everything went back to basically shitting on the floor and not knowing what to do with their waste. So they were definitely sent back. And here's the thing, right? There was the fall of Rome and Italy, and then there was Constantinople, there was Africa. Here's the thing, guys. Some people even go as far as to say that Rome is still falling, or at least some of its former colonies or some former territories are still falling. Like if you see Venice, if you see Rome right now, but then again, those are just second-hand accounts
that we know began to form. Worlds equipped with large mechs for agriculture began to equip them with weapons to defend from alien and demonic invaders. Over 5,000 years, this became a custom and tradition, dubbing them as night worlds, a feudal society of honor-bound knights in gigantic robots that uphold the chivalric code to defend their worlds and honor. A group of individuals on Mars.
So yeah, this is the fall of Rome. It's telling the story of the fall of Rome, that everyone went back to feudalism, where it's every man for himself, every world for himself.
After radioactively bombing their planet to become inhospitable to human life, ran their entire lives underground on the few life support systems keeping them alive. Those technicians who could work on the machines and keep them operational were revered, and over 5,000 years went from skilled members of society to full-blown priests, the cult mechanicus, or tech priests of.
So imagine, oh my god, so now we're reaching so there's the fall of Rome, the Middle Ages, and now there's a Renaissance. So imagine if all of those Renaissance scientists that was persecuted by the church at that time turned into priests themselves. Oh my god, this is an awesome interpretation, you guys. Very varied interpretation of histories. Imagine, Copernicus, Galileo turned into priests instead.
Mars formed in the ashes of the Red Planet with a religious fervor and doctrine on the cult of the machine god. And on Earth, or Terra, techno-barbarian tribes waged war across the planet in a Mad Max style of blood and gore, until finally, a mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed himself to the populace. His name was the Emperor. He deemed himself—
Wait, can we go back? There's the techno cult?
Technicians who could work on the machines and keep them operational were revered.
Okay,
and
yeah.
over 5,000
Galileo,
years
Copernicus
went from skilled members of society to full-blown priests.
They became
the
priests?
Cult Mechanicus, or tech priests of Mars, formed in the ashes of the Red Planet with a religious fervor and doctrine on the cult of the machine god.
Wait, the cult of the machine gods? Again, back to my question. Are we talking of AI? Before the fall of the Eldar, we had AI. So is that a singular AI? Is it like a hive mind, or is it like personalized AI? I remember in the Dawn of War franchise, I love using the guard tanks, and they would always scream out as soon as I beseech the machine spirit. I mean, is it talking to that tank's particular AI, or is it like a hive mind? Anyways.
And on Earth, or Terra, techno-barbarian tribes waged war across the planet in a Mad Max style of blood and gore, until finally, a mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed himself to the populace. His name was the Emperor. He deemed himself the Emperor of mankind. Where did he come from? I don't know.
Hold on, you guys. I just need to refill my tea, okay? Be back in a bit. I'm sorry, I got sick. We're gonna be taking a few breaks every now and then because we're here for the long haul today, or for tonight. And I'm just trying to push through the pain. Okay. So we're finally getting to the Emperor of Mankind thingy, finally.
Why is he 10 feet tall and the most powerful psyker of all of mankind? I don't know. Why is he
Why
basically
now?
immortal? I don't know. Where'd Cotton Eye Joe go? Who knows? But he's here, and he isn't happy with all of you ripping up Terra. So he began the Unification Wars, where he and a very early version of the famous Space Marines, the Thunder Warriors, reunited Terra under a single banner. With blood. Then, after taking over Earth, he reunited the Thunder Warriors into the fucking dirt. This is where we get the Imperium of Man, also known as the Imperium. The new faction headed by the Emperor of Mankind, with a treaty signed with the Cult Mechanicus on Mars to spread out and reunite humanity after the catastrophic Age of Strife.
So, okay. So mankind was divided because of the whole warp thingy, of what the Eldars did. I mean, they already spread out. That was Rome, and then Rome fell, and now Rome fell. Dark Ages came. Mankind was divided, and now it's the Renaissance thanks to the Emperor. So they're reclaiming worlds now, or former human worlds.
Strife. But first, the Emperor is going to need some smaller versions of himself. 20 of them, 18 of them, I meant, gene-crafted sons of the strongest human to ever live. All of them possess unparalleled strategic power, intelligence, formidable strength and size, a real powerful force to unite humanity and stop the chaos of the current galaxy. Speaking of chaos, you ever seen that image of that guy? It's like throwing the baby like a basketball. It's about what happened. The Chaos Gods intervened and grabbed the 18 Primarch gestation pods and yeeted them across the galaxy at a whim, everywhere they could possibly go. A galactic game of keep away.
Hold on.
So the Emperor had to get them back. So begins them. I meant gene-crafted son.
So the emperor tried to decentralize the government. Is that what it is? I mean, it's a wide universe, so he can't, overlook or oversee the entire thing all by himself. So that's why he sent out his sons. Okay, got it. Oh my god, we just shifted to the story of the Bible. But instead of, just one guy sending out his son, we have 1, 2, 3, 20, 12. Was it 12? Oh no, that's 12 sons. This is amazing, you guys. We've got like world history, the story of the Bible. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Got it. So in order to help with the reunification, he made 12 sons and sent them out. At least that was the plan.
Sons of the strongest human to ever live. All of them possess unparalleled strategic power, intelligence,
Yeah, the whole Jesus Christ thing definitely wasn't an accident. I mean, look at that face. If Jesus Christ was fed creatine.
formidable strength and size, a real powerful force to unite humanity and stop the chaos of the current galaxy. Speaking of chaos, you ever seen that image of that guy? It's like throwing the baby like a basketball. It's about what happened. The Chaos Gods intervened and grabbed the 18 Primarch gestation pods and yeeted them across the galaxy at a whim, everywhere they could possibly go. A galactic game of keep away. So the Emperor had to get them back. So begins the Great Crusade, a crusade across the stars to reunite not just humanity, but the Emperor with his fallen sons. The first to be found was Horus, one of the strongest and most
Horus
noble
Heresy.
sons. The Emperor carried with him a legion of newly crafted warriors with genetic material made from their Primarch father. These are the newly made Space Marines. For Horus, his were the Luna Wolves. And as the Emperor continued on his Great Crusade, he found more and more of his sons, reuniting them with their individual Space Marine legions. Leman Russ, the cunning hunter with the Space Wolves. Rogel Dorm, the Phalanx with the Imperial Fists. Angron, the Barbarian, the very angry with his World Eaters. Fulgrim, the Perfect, with his Emperor's children. And Jagatai Khan, the Swift, the Stoic, and his white scars. Those were just some of the 18, and one by one his lost Primarch sons were returned to him, and their Space Marine legions returned to them. The Great Crusade saw humanity once again reconquer the stars, returning worlds of humanity back to the Imperium and killing any and all who stood against their noble crusade. But in the years of the 31st millennia, treachery would break this all apart.
Oh, okay.
We don't know what we did. Horus, the Emperor's most beloved and favored sons, named War Master for the Crusade, succumbed to the power of chaos and daddy issues, all because of that bastard Erebus. Yo, fuck Erebus. Slowly, Horus would become corrupted, turning the Emperor's sons against him. This begins the most pivotal moment in our story, and the one that has like 50 books written about it, the Horus Heresy. 9 of the 18 Primarchs turned against the Emperor, and the following years were a bloody battle for the throne of Terra. The Emperor originally was working on a special webway project, just like the Eldar, to make faster-than-light travel significantly easier and safer, really improve humanity to allow them to conquer the stars without the risk of the warp. Well, this big red idiot named Magnus kind of blew a hole into that, literally and figuratively. So Big E over there is stuck on a gigantic golden throne, holding back the oncoming rush of demons and powering the Astronomicon. Basically a big North Star for people who are sailing in the warp to help them navigate.
Go back just a little bit.
Saw many loyalists written about it, the Horus Heresy.
Okay.
9 of the 18 Primarchs turned against the Emperor, and the following years were a bloody battle for the throne of Terra. The Emperor originally was working on a special webway project, just like the Eldar, to make faster-than-light travel significantly easier and safer, really improve humanity to allow them to conquer the stars without the risk of the warp. Well, this big red idiot named Magnus kind of blew a hole into that, literally and figuratively. So Big E over there is stuck on a gigantic golden throne, holding back the oncoming rush of demons and powering the Astronomicon, basically a big North Star for people who are sailing in the warp to help them navigate. The Horus Heresy saw many loyalist and traitor legions pitted against each other in a bloody war until it reached Terra itself. Horus, unable to break through the lines and with time running out, made a gambit and opened his ship up to be boarded. The Emperor took this challenge, quickly allowing someone else to take control of the throne as he teleported his way onto Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit. The Emperor, unable to truly kill his most beloved son, changed his mind right quick when Horus strangled the life out of his other son, Sanguinius.
Oh no!
Holy
I'm sure
crap.
you've seen this image at some point. The Emperor then said, "I'm not gonna sugarcoat it," and proceeded to psychically blast Horus into complete oblivion, killing not only his body, but also his soul. Horribly wounded from this duel, the Emperor is returned to the Golden Throne in order to keep the demons at bay and power the Astronomicon, because without it, humanity would be flying blind. There he sits, slowly dying from his wounds and the strain of powering the Golden Throne. The only thing keeping him alive is feeding upon the souls of 1,000 psychers every single day. This was 10,000 years ago.
1,000 psychers every day? So, oh my god. Those are a lot of lives.
We are now in the 41st millennium, modern day. Warhammer 40,000.
Oh!
The Emperor remains on his throne. The Imperium is a rotting carcass of an empire, a fascist, xenophobic cult that worships the Emperor as a deity despite him never wanting to be seen as a god. Over the span of 1 million worlds, the ecclesiarchy, the Church of the Emperor, is spread throughout. Inquisitors with unparalleled power root out any sign of heresy or lack of devotion to their god Emperor. The other half of the traitor legions move about as Chaos Space Marines, raiding and pillaging the...
So we're now at the time of the Inquisition. Oh my god. So, after the leader died, the followers took over and everything went to crap. Okay. Spanish Inquisition.
The Imperium, while the loyalist half does their best to keep the Empire alive. All throughout this, they must endure orc invasions, Eldar trickery, the reawakening of the Necron race, and the Great Devourer, the newest tyrannid threat from the darkness between galaxies that has arrived to feast on their worlds. The theme of Warhammer 40,000 is regression and intolerance. Every major faction in Warhammer has had an empire that spanned the galaxy only to be crushed back to a hollow shell of what they once were due to their own failings. Culture, the arts, personal freedom, religious tolerance, the simple possibility that alien life might not want to kill us is considered heretical and is often met with a pistol to the head. There is no time for these things. All there is time for is worship of the God Emperor and a million wars to be fought. To be a human in the 41st millennia is 99% of the time to live a horrible existence.
Yeah, see, wouldn't want to go to that universe because if you think you're gonna end up as a space marine, think again, guys. There's like 1,000,000 to 1 chances. If I'm not mistaken, you have like more chances of actually winning the lottery IRL than becoming an actual space marine in the Warhammer 40k universe. I must have seen that somewhere on my feed.
To be one of trillions of other humans across 1,000,000 worlds throughout the galaxy. A galaxy where AI is outlawed, so humans are repurposed and lobotomized to become slaves. A place where lack of devotion is met with death. And
No,
if
definitely
you
not.
even have devotion, there is a good chance the threats to the galaxy, chaos, and aliens will kill you anyway. Warhammer is a world where you revel in being bad. There are protagonists, there are antagonists, but every faction is some shade of evil. Because playing the bad guys is always more fun. And my friend, you have a selection. So pick up that lasgun soldier. You and the other 3 million men and women in this single deployment on this single world in this single battle will now show them the might of the God Emperor. That weapon
Cadia fell before the guard did. Cadia stands. Blood for the blood god. I have no idea what those mean, but hopefully after this vid we'll actually know.
in your hands has killed 99% of the alien populations in this galaxy. Unfortunately for you, soldier, you're fighting the final 1%. May the Emperor be with us. Glory to the first man to die, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
Might I remind everyone, war is hell. Yep. Definitely don't want any part of this universe. Rawr.
Thank you, everyone. I hope I have helped teach you about Warhammer. If you are a brand new person and you want to get a bit more about the world, there are multiple books that do a great job of showing off how the entire universe operates. For the most part, Warhammer is a setting, and often stories are told in that setting with a Warhammer coat of paint. Gaunt's Ghosts is Band of Brothers, but Warhammer. It's honestly one of my #1 recommendations for new people. Assassinorum Kingmaker.
So that's Gaunt's Ghost, Band of Brothers. I want to check out the Horus. So everything began after the Horus Heresy. After the Emperor got stuck on his throne. Okay, at least we've established that.
Is an assassin novel involving those night worlds. This is Mission Impossible, but Warhammer. Bloodlines is Blade Runner, but Warhammer. And the list goes on and on. If I had to recommend a brand new novel for a first-time Warhammer enjoyer, these are the 4 I would recommend. Horus Rising, Caiaphas Cain, First...
Are we supposed to read this in order? Horus Rising.
First and Only, Gaunt's Ghost, and Infinite and the...
Someone take a screenshot.
Divine. They are all fantastic novels, and they will get you acquainted with the world without needing to know too much. Thank you all so much for watching this video.
Thank you for watching, guys. Links of the original videos are down in the description. Don't forget to check them out. Now you all know the drill. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. And if you want me to check out other stories here on YouTube, please leave it in the comments. Class dismissed.